found truths, and we don't have a way to share it. And on the large scale, I mean. This is why I say we can have a message by collective action, a collective movement, a movement-based message. Okay? That whatever we're doing is not big enough to satisfy the fact that we have these truths about these preborn children. And by the way, never call it abortion either. I mean, I had to use it here because people are familiar with the term. Why not call it abortion? It has nothing to do with a human being. It perpetuates the mindset of neglect and omission. We're not pro-life really. We're pro-preborn. When the AP says that there's two positions, anti-abortion and abortion rights, they're still wrong because they're completely neglected. Okay, the Associated Press, AP. They still don't get it. They still don't get that this is just a mindset of discrimination. But it's so simple, isn't it? I tell people all day long, you could probably sit down and in a month you could probably write this book because it's all common sense. It's not really that difficult, you know. So how do we portray this social tension? Okay, by innovating the pro-life message. Let's bring something new to this country that they haven't heard before. And I've been hinting at that all day long. We can bring a message of goodness because no one's done it before. We can talk about the pro-life movement from the positive side, not from the negative side. Not that just abortion is murder, because people look at that and say that's just harsh. That's just condemnatory language. But what is it that we know in other people? Okay. Here's what everybody knows. If we focus on foundational common values, these common values that know we don't discriminate, okay? Based on any of those arbitrary characteristics, those criteria, we know that this is the one statement that can guide you in all of your messages. Okay, the right to life knows no discrimination. Justice knows no discrimination. Our children are good enough for us. And in chapter 5 of this book, and I don't mean to you see something, I'm going to read from my own book because it's just not good. Well, I kind of wrote it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and share a message. A common message. Okay, a common message. A message that everyone can understand. An appeal to the goodness in human beings everywhere. Not labeling the other side, merely building the culture of life the way we always intended. As one of goodness, as one of beauty. Okay? The first one in here goes like this. Ending injustice against preborns will take courage. Again, we talked about that. The courage to accept that we all know how to treat human beings. That we all do. Not with arbitrary distinction, but with the knowledge that we are each distinct in our humanity. Not based on how much we depend on mother or father or sibling or neighbor, but that we support each other in the moments of our greatest need. That's the true American way. Not with limiting restrictions in the right to life, but with limitless justice for those who are being oppressed. No American should be afraid. He should never be afraid. He should take courage, okay, to affirm what we already know. Our lives should never be at risk because of somebody's arbitrary opinion about who is good enough. No American should be afraid of standing on a firm principle that all people accept, that the right to life knows no discrimination. And because of this, no one should be afraid of life without abortion. I'll just finish this real quick. Again, we all need courage. The courage to stand with the unshakable conviction that age should never affect the legal protection of any of our lives. Your life. I'm 30. Is anybody here? Who here is younger than me? I don't want to know anybody who's older necessarily. I'm not trying to. But see, it doesn't matter. Age, of course. We know this. Everybody knows this. The courage to stand on the truth that our lives are to be protected no matter how tall we stand among men or how small we sit beside God. This just goes on and on. We could do this all day long. It's that no one hears these things. Why aren't we hearing the beautiful side of humanity? But we can. We can talk like this. When we go out and we talk to people who ask us these crazy questions of how can we take care of all of our children? All we have to do is just have sacrifice in our lives. So we can do something together now. We control our own media. How do we do that? How do we control the media? No, the mainstream media, NBC, ABC, CBS, I hear from conservatives all the time. It's like they're nothing but, pawns in, a current president's hand. I don't want to name any name. All right? Go ahead. Like Facebook, like YouTube, like Twitter, like all these things. I've read that the electronic media that people pay attention to in a very recent article in one of these newspapers, I forget which one, I should have brought it, It said that children spend about 7 hours a day on electronic media. Okay, people are like, that's ridiculous. Well, we could be like, these children are horrible. We could say, well, maybe we need to take media. But all the media that are going to, some of that hours is through like movies and television and things like that. And Personalism Movement hopes to put out a pro-life movie, but don't hold me to it, just in case we can't get all the pieces together, right? That's based on non-discrimination, excuse me. We do control our own media now, okay? Our media is blogs, social networks, YouTube. Even when we write the letters to the editor, okay? All we need is creative control and professional output. Non-discrimination, though, is so simple that we can head home. I want to prove that to you real quick. Okay, this is a group of people who is in my home state of Florida. Okay, and the thing in them is that I gave them all like a sheet of paper, maybe just 4 of these kinds of things right here. Okay, just 4 of them, and some of them had no idea what I was doing before. Okay, some of them had didn't excuse me. All right, didn't know what non-discrimination was all about. So I gave them just a sheet, and I didn't explain it to them, and they just read about it. Okay, and well, this is what they brought up. This is what they did.
What is discrimination?